Welcome. This is my 18-foot little Airstream, and this could be a fun little long series of remodeling the Airstream. Let me tell you what's up. First of all, I'm in Oregon. It is early morning, showing you how beautiful it is outside. Got a little canal running through. We got the Airstream. This may interest you if you're watching an Airstream video. Years ago, a friend, Dan, helped design this beautiful system to hold a Yamaha 3000 that hold it up because it has a propane ability there. So I love this thing. We're towing just with the simple, awesome Toyota Tacoma 2019 off-road edition. It is a lifted Airstream. Okay, we are catching up, but here's the deal. Today is, I suppose, basically decision day. This could go in one of two directions, and this videoing could be quite long or not. Here we are inside the Airstream. Let me give you a little tour because we are going in one of two directions. I've driven out here from Utah because my brother has the tools and has some insight, and my nephew, as to how to redo the back. So you missed a stage. There was a lot of stuff back here. It was like a storage area. You missed it because I didn't decide to do these videos until just now. It is kind of a mess because this used to all be covered. Obviously the dust wasn't visible. Let me give you a vision. When I first got this Airstream, before the vision, do you want a recap of the history? I got this in 2013 in July after a successful Kickstarter raised part of the funds that I would need to be a year on the road and then to make a book about LDS temples, and a book that's still to be coming. Actually, all the pictures are picked, all the pictures are done, and the design has already been started on a book of all religious temples. So I went around the country in an Airstream for 14 months for that project and photographed over 4,000 religious buildings and all those temples of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I did a book. In fact, here is that book. There you go. Oh, and here is that storage system that I took out. So imagine that in the back. Okay, so here's also the deal. If I'm doing this, one of the two ways, all-out remodel or a back area remodel. That's basically the gist right here. All-out remodel or back area remodel. And if I'm doing that, this style of these videos will be keep you up to date style. And there may be quite a few of them, again, if it's the all-out remodel, or it may be just a few. And I am not going to be doing full-on edits. It's going to be, the style is going to be keep you up to date, involve you in the thought process, involve you in the big things that we had to decide, because the really, like stop motion animation type stuff is visually beautiful and pleasing, but it's not conducive to getting this done. And I know they're amazing, and that may disappoint some people that it's not going to be perfectly filmed all the way through. But here's why it's going to be awesome. Because you're going to be involved in the decision making. Because if you're watching this, you're probably thinking about this sort of thing. So what is actually in the brain of not just me, but the architect who, he legitimately is an architect. I will show you. He's a builder, creator, architect, and has been his job in the past. So we're going to be working with AutoCAD and showing you like some of our ideas of what we're doing about why we thought about if we do the big. Well, I'll show you the big design option, even if we don't pull the trigger. And we're going to be going through kind of those decision-making sort of things, which is what they don't tell you in most videos, like why we did that and some of the a lot of the thoughts behind different things, which is maybe one of the most important and helpful sort of videos, right? Maybe. I don't know. So today's is decision day, right? What is going to happen? So let me give you a tour. It's a mess. We're pulling out different things. We've emptied out different things. All this may go if we do the trigger for the big idea. I'm a photographer, big screen. Second desk actually in the Airstream in the 7 years. Now it's over 7 years, 1 month. Been in this Airstream. This is the second version of the desk. It's been around 3 years. I had an idea back in the day, and the idea never was fulfilled. The idea was that I could put this missing piece of board, sleep another person, then I got a 44-inch monitor. So that didn't happen. And then I put this on top. So none of that happened. And it's a very small area, but it's been nice to be able to kind of look out that window, though a lot of the time I need to block at, obviously. This was built with the original Airstream. I did spend a decent amount for this system where the drawers would come out. There'd be a tank behind it. And this would come out essentially to a queen size bed. So it's 84 inches. Is it 84 or 80? It's probably 80. And then it's 26 high. And then the purple, which we're going to either wash this or make a new one. Anyways, the walkway is like 21 inches, so it's not very big. And then we designed this kitchen system, which was never finalized and has never been finalized since because I didn't like it enough to finalize it, right? So put a safe in there, and then there's like a microwave in there, and there's a sink. And let me tell you about that decision. Everything, so this is a gray tank, and we got PEX lines, and there was a white tank behind, a clean water tank behind there. And and there was a old system. This is a 1963 Airstream. So we have an old shower tub. Took a couple showers in that and decided, well, that first year I was always at friends' houses. I was always on the go. I'm always, I park at people's places often, as we are here. So I decided that, one, that was hard. You had to winterize it, which was difficult because I was places in the winter that I was like, well, then what do I do in the winter when I don't have the water? And I had a propane hot water heater. I think I just pulled the trigger because in the first year, I just got along fine without water. Water bottles, I decided I'd go with, I know it's not the most eco-friendly, paper plates and bowls and plastic forks and knives, and this stopped being used. And it did, there was a crack in one of those first winters. Anyways, that's like past. This is like getting you up to date, right? This is past stuff. What stayed from the original remodel? The closet, even though the doors have since been removed because they're annoying and they didn't help, and I don't mind the ability to see the clothes easily. That stayed. What else was there? I mean, there was a hole. I put a new fan in. There has been a fire since then, so this was the original thing for the fridge, but this is melted. And that did melt, so that's a second edition. I mean, these window things melted. And then the top vent of the air conditioner melted, but guess what? Everything works perfectly still. I know it seems crazy. So there's not too much that's original. There was original floor that I put new wood on top of. I know, extra weight. And this tub was original. I mean, there's walls and these systems for storing stuff is original, even though these doors are new. So, but what did not happen, and this is a key point for the decision today, what did not happen on the remodel is a redo of the insulation. 1963 Airstream, so we have 57-year-old insulation. I have felt the effects of that over the years. I mean, when it's hot outside, you touch the roof, and in parts it's hot. So you go around, you're like, oh, hot here, not hot here, not hot, not hot here. So recently, I even did something where I put insulation, because this was one of the hottest areas back in here. So just putting a little bit of that helped a ton to do stuff like that. And obviously in these windows, it helped. Okay, so we caught up. I don't know. I mean, there are definitely some more things that are okay. The decision making on the windows. Okay, I guess I should go back through that. I'm a photographer, so here's an example. I'm a photographer, and when I've been in this for years and years and years, I was either working on the computer or sleeping, and that meant I needed it dark. And I know a lot of people look towards their windows for, like, see the beautiful outside. I'm outside a lot in the wilderness and awesome things. I wasn't so interested in that. So windows got replaced by metal, insulation, metal, or, you know, another metal picture. So that's going to end up being not too bad if I do the remodel. Now, again, what's the remodel? Either I am redoing just this back area, out, floor, storage system, and a flat on top. So essentially it could be a secondary bed. So this bed and that bed with lots of storage, because when I did the old storage system, I think I started gathering crap to match the storage system, and I went over that. So I have a lot of tools and a lot of stuff, so I can fix things and I can handle situations that come my way, and just, I don't know, stuff. I have a lot of stuff. When I see other van life videos and how little stuff, I mean, I have more clothes now than I did before, even when I lived in a 4,000 foot house. Now I'm in the 100 square foot house. I have more clothes now. I know there's not seem like I don't know. I'm pretty sure I have more clothes now. There's a lot of hanging up. There's a lot in here. There's a lot kind of the warm weather stuff over there. More clothes, another one's clothes. I mean, these are big drawers too. These are big drawers. Clothes, another clothes thing, and then all of my, yeah. There's a lot of that stuff. Okay, so decision making day. So this may be a two-parter on the decision. We're gonna work on the back, give it a test run. So that's the idea. Like I said, these videos are very idea-centric, a lot of talky. But you'll see progress as you go through the videos. So there we go. When I first did the remodeling, let's tell you what I have to deal with. When I first did the remodeling, I got it late July, and I got on the road late September. So that's August, September. So we're talking 2 months. In those 2 months, what else did I do? I feel like I worked pretty nonstop. I did have some help. So what do we have this time? 8 to 9 days. Maybe more. Okay, so if the remodeling is going good, I can leave to my photo shoot, which is 1,000 miles away. So either drive or fly 1,000 miles without the Airstream. Obviously fly without the Airstream. If we're halfway through and it's not done and I need the help here at this house, then we'll come back. So you've seen enough of the inside. It's kind of messy right now. We're going to show you this awesome house, and maybe you'll want to, a more interesting person would be my brother. We'll get him on during the remodel, regardless of the one. I'm either doing the back or the front. Let me show you this awesome project that they've been doing for years. So I believe this little guy right there, I think it's, no, it's on that side of the stone. Boom, right there on that side of the stone is an old house on this beautiful property that was big. That was an old house. It had its foundation, and when you buy it, then you can kind of add on whoop, that little section. Let me go over there. Okay, get a better feel for it right there. Boop. So when they did that, they were in this little section. They were living somewhere else in town, but then they built, okay, so here it is. This is a section. They built this little garage system to the side, which is nice. I'm assuming redoing roofs and insides along the way. And then they're like, okay, well, it's already approved house and everything with its own foundation. We're going to extend it a little bit, and we're going to build this guy. Okay, cool. And then they were done with that. Beautiful flowers, by the way. And then boop, another section. And then boop, another section with a like an apartment sort of thing up there. And then a big, huge, awesome garage. I called it a garage, but it's actually a very large workshop. So here we are. He is building, and he has a YouTube channel where he is designing a vehicle right now, the molds for the vehicle. I'll show you the actual, like, what he made the molds off of. This is a mold for the car skins, and this is the innards being designed with its own suspension system, its own exhaust, and everything is being designed. So basically, he's building a totally, like, from, not exactly, I mean, a lot of this is somewhat scratch. I mean, like, the whole design is from the start, basically. Okay, I'll show you that, but there is a topic in here that we need to discuss, because this may be part of how this became maybe just a back of the Airstream design to a full-on design. He looked around when I was like, hey, we want to do the back. He looked around. He's like, well, what about this over here and the bed area? Do you need that? I was like, oh, I don't know. He's like, well, so his brain got to thinking, okay, this makes more sense back here. And it's like 6 a.m., so I didn't want to wake people up. He's like, to use this? And I was like, not really. I wish there's more countertop. And I actually don't need more countertop. I just wish this was countertop. He's like, well, what about this wall? Is it structural? I'm like, not in Airstreams. They're fine without having this. Okay. Well, do you like the desk? I was like, well, no. The original idea, being able to sleep, doesn't really matter anymore. So that's too much. And I put this on top of it, so it's bowed this. And I mean, it's not amazing. Okay. I'm like, what has to? I'm like, well, this has to stay. These two things. The fridge for sure. Like, you're not going to move the fridge. Everything that's involved with it, from the vent at the bottom to the vent at the bottom to the top, the fridge needs to stay. I mean, it could go back maybe an inch, but it needs to stay. So his mind got to thinking, and later on we'll have him show you AutoCAD, probably not in this video, where he's like, well, here's a floor design. And remember I showed you those chests? That's important. Because he's like, you could put a chest there instead of having to design and cut all the wood and do everything and then make drawers for all the slider drawers, because the sliders, if I was doing it here, would have been 38 inches by 24. So I did 24-inch sliders. You know, like 4 to 6 of them here, and then another 4 here. So that's like 8 sliders, so 8 pairs, and that's like 100, maybe less. You know, a bunch of sliders, and then all the material to make jewelry. Like, what about one of them chests? They have a wood top. You can build with that design in mind. Okay, well, that seems doable if you can find one the right size. It'd have to be a very exact size. And so then he designed in mind, he's like, okay, if we don't have a lot of time, that means not a lot of totally built, self-built stuff. So what if, okay, so this is his design. It's all in the AutoCAD. So when he laid it out, because I'm like, I have a hard time thinking of these brand new creation ideas. So let me walk through it with you. Hopefully I do a decent job. So what if you brought in one of those big chests, the 46-inch chest, and you put one there? Wheel well does come out 12 inches and is 12 inches high, and decently long. So you raise it up, boom, there. What if you put another one past because this doesn't move. So if you put another one 46 inches there, so it'll go to maybe about here. So if you have 2 of them, and then did the bed in the back, and then you put it on top of another chest, which doesn't have to be raised as opposed to the wheel wells. So you have one it's still decently high, because you're talking they're like 36 inches high, and then a bed on top. So we're talking kind of a high sort of system, but a lot of people have high bed systems in different areas. So then you would just take everything out. So we could just be doing a series of videos about redoing the back, or it could be this crazy idea of 3 chests, so you could put all the nooks and crannies, all this stuff that I have, all of it goes in the drawers, and then on top, basically, especially over here, is those cube systems. So a nicely designed thing to hold cubes instead of this kind of just here. We've got those 11-inch cubes, and maybe the 15-inch deep 12. There's like 2 big cube systems, you know, the IKEA or the Walmart or the Bed Bath & Beyond cubes. So you've got those, so you can fit all the like food sort of stuff. I mean, I guess that's almost what I have, is a cube that doesn't move out and is still visible. So you'd have like less visible sort of stuff. So all the big stuff like clothes would go in cubes, and then you'd have other things. Obviously, all those chests do have some large compartment, but a lot of skinny compartments like this, you know, where it's like, here's stuff. So storage needs would definitely be met. So if you got that again, there's and then there'd be space, the 12 inches that the wheel well goes up. So there'd almost be like maybe stuffed cubes on bottom. I don't know. So 46 inches. And then actually right here in this doorway, which is 24-ish inches, there would be a, and we'll show you the plans too and kind of go over it again. There'd be a seat, because that's what I'm kind of missing, is a place to just kind of chill and relax. Well, I thought, we are moving from this thing that goes out to a queen, this ability to sleep 2 to, I don't know, 3 if you're real close. And then we got one kind of twin bed-ish sort of thing in the back. But they are convertible bed chair, or convertible chair bed lounger type things, so that you can just sit on them most of the time, but when you need it, they will extend to a 30 by 74-inch bed that will fit right in here. So that was kind of a late addition yesterday, where I was like, well, what about sleeping? It didn't necessarily get better, if I'm going on a venture with friends, because in the back, a stream of conscious thoughts. In the back, there was a piece of wood before this got set up on it, and I've had 2 friends, a nephew is in his 20s, and another photographer friend that have traveled with me for up to a month at times, and they would sleep in the back. We just put a cushion on top of the wood, which is that thing right there. So lots has already come out. Okay, so that was there, and so I liked that idea. So right now, what's going to end up happening is if we go that direction, ton more storage above for clothes and all the trinkets and random things. Obviously, with the huge chests, and I mean, that's going to be 700 pounds alone in just the chests, but the wood and all that stuff, saving that amount of time. So this is an idea built on, what do we got? 8-9 days? Okay. Well, if we do this, all that's taken care of. All that's taken care of. We're just bolting them into the ground. We've got stands, and he can weld, so we'll put them up on these metal bracket made stands. And then what else is there, really? I mean, you've got the metal system to hold the cubes, with this just tubing, basically. And then what would probably need to be done is the clothes system, or the hanging closet, is going to have to be designed. And then a new desk. So those are the two more time-consuming things, is building out a desk system. Again, probably with the monitor sitting there this time around. And just, maybe nicely done with the cube options again. So, shoes and stuff. I mean, this is a mess because I've been moving stuff. So that's what we're facing. That's probably going to be the biggest thing. Is the bottom one's not too bad. Getting the chests and going out and finding the stuff, that's probably part of today. So what would happen for the full system is work on this, get this all out, see how long that took, probably undo some of the panels, because, I should mention, one of the biggest draws to redoing everything is, if it's going to be empty at some point, take off all the panels, shove some insulation in there. I have the help so that there could be multiple people in here getting out all the rivets. Boom, 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 boom. We're just taking everything out. So destruction could happen as early as everything out and most of the panels off by the end of the day, even. Maybe, if we go down that road. So, we'll see. I'm not taking out everything in the Airstream yet, until I guess we get to that point. But I have some help. So, I help with skilled people. So take all this off, check some of the panels, see how big of a deal that is, because if that's going to take way too long, it may just be a matter of, let's skip it. And we may not do these end caps, because this is the hardest part, because they're like fiberglass sort of thing. So if we do everything else besides these little end caps, I still think it's worth it, right? Okay, so, and then if that happens, then everything gets taken off, new floors, new wood, and then new tile as well. It's not tile itself, but you know what I mean. And just everything happens, put it all back in, wheel in the chests, bring them in before there's too much stuff, because they're large. They barely fit through the door. 25.25-inch door, 24-inch, or 18-inch if we can find them. But 24 makes sense, because this is 24. And it's fine if this is 24. If they're both 24, I will go from a 21-inch walkway to a 30-inch walkway. Or 36, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, I've rattled on for long enough. That's a good first update. We basically dumped a ton of information. Next ones should be, well, shorter and, shorter, obviously, but a lot less backstory. I'll refer to this one. Okay, anyone have questions? The sun has risen. But that's another thing is we've got some hot days. They're going to be in the 90s, so it's nice to keep electricities for as long as we can, so that we can use the air conditioner and maybe work into the nights, and early mornings are nice, obviously. I'll go full out and working, and then I'll have help from time to time. I did just spend a couple of days redoing electricity and getting this Victron Multi Plus, and then I have my Lion Energy batteries back there, and I had redone this. This is actually a nice little organized. I know wires are still there, but that's what electricity is. So lots of meters, 2 charge controllers, a fuse bank for the 12 volt. Yeah, and I just did these nice LED strips, which are gonna be coming down if I do everything. Anyway, so that would all be moving. I think what I was gonna say at the end here is that the simple style of filming and just kind of chatting through things means I can upload these pretty easily, and you can give opinions, what you think may happen, what you'd like to maybe see, or some ideas or leads for different things that we can do. I don't know. I'll post these so that you can join in the conversation, I suppose, because it could go somewhere totally different than what we're thinking now. Again, it could be pull the trigger, do the whole big thing. Maybe we don't get it done in 90 days. I travel there and then come back here and we finish it up. I'd like to do a lot more photo shoots, obviously, and make some money to pay for all this, because it's going from a couple $100 project, maybe if I pull the trigger, to a few $1,000s, because $1,000 in chests, the tool chests, and then the wood and stuff. There's definitely stuff. The tubing and all the cubes for there's a lot, right? Okay, but it could be pretty darn awesome. And we'll get your opinions as we go along. And this could go in one or two ways. I mean, it could go in a lot of ways, but it could go the big route or just the back end. But at least you get, if we go just the back end, at least you get this cool idea of what could happen. I hope you visualized it with me. We'll do another video where we actually show the floor plans design. That could help. And I think that's it for right now. Okay, bye.